Hello, hello. Welcome back to Let's Talk Entertainment News. Apparently, there is a new Night at the Museum movie coming, and today's news story sheds some light on why we're probably not going to see Ben Stiller. So, we're going to talk about that in just a moment. But before we do, just a reminder we have one rule around here. If you choose to join the comment section, be kind. That is all we ask. It is a mean, nasty world out there, and we don't want any of that here. If you can't do that, just move along kindly. Thank you. I had no idea that this was coming, or maybe I did know and I forgot because there's just a lot of shit going on in the world these days. But new Night at the Museum movie update reveals if Ben Stiller will return. A Night at the Museum reimagining is in the works, and a new report on the film from Deadline has shed some light on whether or not to expect Ben Stiller to return to it. In Deadline's new report on the film, the reimagining is said to feature a new story with all new characters. This likely means that many of the stars of the original, including Stiller, won't be returning for the new iteration. So there you have it. I'm not going to read any further. Not a huge groundbreaking story here by any stretch of the imagination, but I always thought that these movies were fun, and now that they've sort of gone through this process of doing these increasingly silly sequels, and they're doing a reimagining, boy, I would hope that they would go in a different direction, go darker, go more realistic, perhaps go back in time, follow the origins of the tablet. I think there's a lot of possibilities to do something that is sort of like Indiana Jones meets the librarians, meets, I don't know, Stargate, and other things like that. These sort of pseudo, half history, half fantasy properties that we've had. Very fitting, I think, to sort of if you're into like the 90s and early 2000s, like sci-fi TV shows, stuff like that. I think it would fit nicely in that, but also go a little bit darker, go a bit more realistic. Undoubtedly, they're going to go, I would think, in the direction of more family-friendly, goofy, silly comedy stuff, but I think there's a good opportunity if you're going to reimagine to do something completely different. I think it's likely to fail if they sort of do new films that sort of look like the old films, but just not featuring Ben Stiller. But if it did bring Ben Stiller back, by all means, make it look more like the original films. But yeah, I don't have a whole lot of hope for this, but they do have an interesting opportunity here. I think that there is some opportunity to do something new and interesting, but in the same universe, a new version, if you will. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Tell me what you think. Good or bad that Ben Stiller not likely to be involved? I think we could still see him in some capacity if it's more like, if it looks like the originals, bring him in like a cameo, something like that. But perhaps passing the torch off to another new whatever guard or whatever, wherever I can't remember the third film where it ended up, but yeah. Thank you, and I will see you again soon.